y'all, it's Ilana and welcome back to my channel. So for this video, I am going to be doing a YouTuber Q&A in honor of my 5-year anniversary of being on YouTube, which is so crazy that it's already been 5 years since I've been on YouTube. I feel like it started 2 years ago, but really, it's been 5 years, which is insane. So if you are interested in just learning just a little bit more about me and just being a YouTuber, go ahead and buckle up because we're about to dive right in. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all of my content about navigating life and dating in Portland. So I asked you guys on Instagram and even on my community tab some questions that you wanted to ask me, and I got a lot of questions, so we're gonna go through as many of them as I can. The same person asked me 2 different questions. So the first one they asked was, anything you would tell your younger YouTube self? The first thing that I would say is that it is a process, and your first couple of videos are gonna be cringy AF. I have honestly privated some of my earlier videos because they were that bad, and they were also like just not really relevant to what I was talking about, and they're just embarrassing. I still have a couple of my older videos up because those are videos that I did find enjoyment of creating. So the ones that I did enjoy creating are the ones that, even though the quality was bad, the content of it was still good. The thing I would have said is like, just know that, yeah, you're gonna be cringe, it's okay. And just know that it is going to take you a really long time to grow. And it is really important that you have direction with your channel. I really wish younger YouTube Ilana knew that. And that was one of the reasons as to why I did this YouTube boot camp, which I did in the summer of 2018. And it really made such a difference. And I still work with my coach every month. I don't utilize her as much as I used to because I feel like I've really gotten the hang of it. So I only utilize her now when I have questions. I know questions will happen, and I am a part of this like Facebook group that I have to like pay for, so like part of the membership requires that, and I do ask questions in there from time to time as well, or I answer other people's questions. So it's really nice to have that community. But those are some things that I would say is like, just know that you're gonna be cringy AF, you gotta keep going, and it's gonna be okay. The second question that they asked was anything you would ask your future YouTube self. I think the biggest question is, so Ilana, are you a full-time YouTuber yet? How did you do it? How much money are you making? What kind of brand deals do you have? No, I'm totally kidding. I would definitely want to know if, let's say within the next 3 years, like, will I be a full-time YouTuber by then? I think that's a big question that I would want to know. I would want to know if I have been getting more feedback and more engagement. Those are some things that I would want to ask future YouTuber Ilana. I think the biggest thing that I can tell present YouTuber Ilana is that, bitch, you better keep going. You better be making more videos because look how far you've come. And I have come such a long way within 5 years. And so I am really proud. And the biggest thing is to don't stop. And I think that's another thing I would tell past YouTuber Ilana. Do not give up. Stay motivated, stay focused. I didn't see growth for a really long time. Just keep going. Keep going and going and going. I promise you, videos will pay off. It just takes time. That's kind of the advice that I would tell myself for the past, present, and future. This next question is, how do you keep the negativity and criticism from getting to you? I will say some negative comments are not the same as hate comments, right? So a negative comment could be like, San Francisco's such a gross city, I don't know why anyone would move there. I get those comments all the time. That's just somebody wanting to vent and be negative, and those can stay up because, I mean, well, they're entitled to their own opinion. I don't get that much criticism on my channel. I think sometimes I get criticism when people disagree with the way that I talk about how I've handled my dating life. Most of it tends to come from men. But the thing is, I don't really take those criticisms personally just because dating is such a touchy subject for everyone because everyone does things differently. When I have given like my dating advice, it's been based off my own experiences and what works for me in hopes that it works for other people as well. I never market myself as like a dating coach. Never will I ever do that. Y'all know that I hate dating coaches. I will say I am really fortunate that I don't get as many hate comments. One thing that does kind of help with that is that I do have blocked words. So there are a list of a lot of blocked words and just hateful words and offensive words. I have the word eyebrows blocked because there was a point where people would not shut up about my eyebrows. Listen guys, I get it. My eyebrows are ugly. We don't need to like be the eyebrow police. Like, I'm over it. Stop trying to bring out my insecurities about my eyebrows. I know my eyebrows suck. I do everything that I can to fix them, but y'all are never satisfied. And I just have given up, so I just blocked out those words. I definitely don't like it when people make comments about my voice. I've gotten several comments about the sound of my voice and how I need to go to vocal coaching, or that my voice sounds very shrill, or I just sound terrible on camera. And I will say my voice is one of the biggest insecurities that I have besides my eyebrows. And I can't control the way that I sound. I also am a very, very naturally loud person. So whenever I talk, people are always like telling me, and by people, I mean my family. And it's really embarrassing when they're like, Ilana, you're being way too loud. You're hurting my ears. I really don't have control over it. And it doesn't really help when I also have a speech impediment. And it also can just impair, I guess, the sound of my voice too. When I stutter, I stammer, I use a ton of filler words, and I'm very aware of it, especially when I'm editing my videos and it just really sticks out. So those videos, or I'm sorry, not those videos, those comments definitely can put me down, but I definitely just delete them. And if I get a comment that's super offensive or misogynistic or sexist, I just delete and block. I just don't have the time to give it energy. Sometimes I do post some of the most ridiculous hate comments that I get onto my Instagram stories. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me post some of the most outlandish things people have said to me on YouTube. But I really am fortunate that I have gotten more positive comments than negative and criticizing comments. This next question says, how do you find time/energy for YouTube with your full-time job? That is such a great question. Let me tell you guys, this job is a hustle. Oh my gosh, like being a part-time content creator even takes up a ton of time. So the way that I typically do this is I dedicate most of my weekends to content creation. So during the work week from like 9 to 5, I do my regular full-time day job. And then after that, I have my other part-time job where I do mentor sessions for those who are a part of my company's like fellowship program, and I help them with career mentoring. And so that is something that I do on the side, and I only do about 2 to 3 sessions a day throughout the week. So I probably get around like 5 to 10 hours with that. On the weekends is where I dedicate most of my time to YouTube. So basically Saturdays are days where I film. And I have been doing a really good job of balancing my social life, my personal time, and my content creation time together. I normally set boundaries with my friends on Sundays for the most part, because Sundays are the days where I edit my videos, because I upload every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And what's nice is that the reason I'm consistent with it is because you can schedule your videos out on YouTube. So I will upload my video onto YouTube the night before the video is supposed to go live, and then I will schedule it for a specific time so it automatically publishes. So what I just have to do is just to remember to go onto like my social media accounts and just announce like, hey guys, new video is out, here's the link, go watch it type thing. So that's how I do it. But there are some videos that I can't film in just one day. Like sit down videos like this, I could do in one day. But if it comes to, let's say, the Portland Brewery video that I recently filmed, I had to film that over the course of a couple of weeks because A, I don't have the bandwidth to film every day, plus that's a lot of alcohol to drink. Oh my god, I cannot tell you how done I was after that video. Like, I did not want to touch beer for a while. I still don't want to touch beer for another couple of weeks because I'm still beered out from that video. So some videos can take a couple of weeks to film, but I do pretty much spend and dedicate most of my weekends to filming and creating. And then once I have gotten everything that I want to for that day, then I will look at my schedule and see how much time can I dedicate to my social life. Or if I don't have social plans, okay, that's gonna be my me time then. It really just depends. I mean, the past couple of weekends I have been hanging out with friends at least one of the 2 days of the weekend, but I always make sure that I set boundaries with friends and be like, hey, I do have to stop at a certain point just because I do have to film. And then sometimes when I have bonus Fridays, I typically choose to film on Wednesdays as a good medium and balance, and I will just do that after work. Another thing that's really nice is that I do work from home, so when I have downtime throughout my day, I could maybe sneak some time to film a video and get that done at least, so that way when I'm done with work I can go and edit it later. So that's basically how I budget my time. But I will say, just even doing all the things that I'm doing with my podcast Instagram with Instagram Reels and TikTok and YouTube, it's a lot of stuff. And Amazon Live, I do that during my lunch break at least on Fridays. So it's just about budgeting your time and finding the gaps in your day to get those things done. And that's how I make it work. This next person asked me a question that's kind of similar to the question that I just answered, but it's, how's the freedom of being a YouTuber and work from home life? As I mentioned, having a work from home job is really nice because I do have those gaps sometimes within my day when I don't have as busy of a day. So it is really nice that I can use some of that time to focus on other projects, like such as creating videos or planning videos or doing other things as a content creator with other things that I work on. It is nice, but I will say it definitely gets overwhelming. I really wish this was my full-time job, but I am not there yet, and so I have to just be humble about that. I am diversifying my streams of income. I mean, I took on a part-time job. I am also working on a super cool project right now that I'm not ready to talk about. Hopefully at the end of the month or beginning of September, I will announce it. So stay tuned for that. I no longer make money with my podcast anymore, so now I'm just releasing episodes for free, and if sponsorships come from that, then that's great. I take a brand deal maybe once a year. I've already done a brand deal this year, so I feel like that's probably going to be my only brand deal for this year. And it's not because I only choose to do one brand deal a year. It's just that I'm very picky about what brands that I choose to work with. It really varies, but the freedom is nice, and I will say it is great that having a work from home job helps me not burn out as much. Because if I was working at an office job, I would have burnt out, and I probably would have taken like a whole month off from YouTube because just commuting to an office can really take the toll on it. So I do enjoy that freedom, but hopefully one day I do get to the point where I am making enough income to do this full time. What software do you use for editing? I use Final Cut Pro. I started off using iMovie and then I did upgrade. So Final Cut Pro does cost $399, but because I had an education email, so my old college email with my Apple ID, I technically was able to get the education discount, and I got Final Cut Pro for $299. So little life hack in case anyone wants to download Final Cut Pro for $100 off, that's the way to do it. I am so happy I did the upgrade. I mean, I've been using Final Cut Pro since 2018. I only used iMovie for maybe, I want to say 9 months. Wasn't too long that I was using iMovie, but Final Cut Pro is just elite. It took me a while to get used to because there's more functions in it than iMovie, but there's so much more things that you can do in terms of editing with Final Cut Pro than you can do with iMovie, and it's completely worth the money. It's a one and done fee. There's no subscription, which is really nice. Final Cut Pro, ride or die. It's the best editing software out there for videos. I love it, and I feel like I could not do a lot of things with my videos if it wasn't for Final Cut Pro. Favorite thing about YouTubing? That's a great question. I would say creating. If there's anything that I've really loved about YouTubing, it's that I love how YouTube brings out a very creative side out in me, and I also really like that I can just genuinely be my unapologetic self. Making videos is so fun. I personally have no problem sitting in front of a camera and talking to myself. I am a big extrovert, and I feel like I get very energized when I create videos. So that truly is like my favorite part about YouTubing, is being able to create and also making people happy after they see my videos. Tons of y'all will come into my DMs and tell me how you found me on YouTube, how you watched a specific video, and how it really had a positive impact on you. I fucking love that shit. That makes me so happy. And that's another thing that I absolutely love about being a YouTuber. Another question I got was, what is the hardest thing or the one thing that you don't like about being a YouTuber? I definitely think nobody likes getting hate comments. That's definitely something I don't like about being a YouTuber, but that sadly comes with the territory. And I think the hardest part about being a YouTuber is you're always hustling. I am always thinking about YouTube. Like, when you are a YouTuber and you are consistently uploading every single week, you're always thinking about YouTube. It can be so distracting from your regular day-to-day activities because I'm always thinking about what my next video is gonna be. I'm always thinking about how I'm gonna do a thumbnail. I feel like I would sometimes rather be working on videos than doing my actual full-time job. And I think that's really hard, is because it's something that I love so much. I know that sounds really cliche, but consistency is also challenging. I have experienced burnout from content creation, which is why I take breaks. It was another reason as to why I didn't post a video this past Monday, which I'm so sorry, but also I'm not sorry because mental health is important. Being a YouTuber can be very draining, and I definitely think one of the hardest things at first was not seeing growth and feeling discouraged because nobody was really watching my videos. And my videos were super bad because of the quality. I just didn't have the right equipment, but I knew how to improve over time. I was able to finally get past that mental barrier, but it definitely sucks when you work so hard on something and it doesn't pay off, or you think a video is gonna do so well and then it just completely flops. And that shit sucks. I think there are more things that I like about it than I don't like about it. Can you comment on your channel growth and how you anticipate your channel growing in the future? That's a great question. I have come such a long way. So it took me 4 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. So I didn't hit 1,000 subscribers until May of 2021, so May of last year. And I broke down crying because I remember when I had started YouTube, I remember when it came to monetization requirements, you only needed to have 10,000 views total from all your videos and then you were monetized. And of course, once I hit my 10,000th view, total that is, YouTube changed the requirements of monetization to where you had to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. That shit sucked. And however, I will say I never started a YouTube channel for money. Otherwise, I would have stopped doing YouTube a long time ago, especially with how slow it took for me to get to 1,000 subscribers. That was discouraging, but I knew I could do it. I knew my time was coming, and that's why I didn't give up. One day I will, but you know what? I don't do YouTube for the money because I only make a little less than $100 every month from this, and that also comes with just still being a smaller channel, and it also depends on your CPM rates, but I'm getting off topic here. I've grown a lot, and so what's interesting is that I have gained over the past year and 3 months since I got 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 1,600 now, so it's still a little bit of a slower growth, but it's definitely a better trajectory. So it took me 3.5 years just to get to 600 something subscribers. So now that I've gained another 600 subscribers only within a year and 3 months, clearly I'm doing something right, and I'm now growing maybe, I want to say, half of what I was doing before. So I do predict that I will probably see maybe around 23 to 2,500 subscribers by the end of the year. I know my goal is 3,000, and of course anything can happen within these next few months, guys. YouTube and its algorithm is very unpredictable. I've had videos that I thought were kind of bad, or not necessarily bad, but I thought the topics were not very interesting. But the topics that weren't very interesting, or at least so I thought, are the ones that are now like my most viewed videos. Like when I did my video on like public transportation in San Francisco, that has 30,000 views. That video is only 2 years old. I mean, it had some slow growth with the viewership, but I will say, like, it popped off when it did, and that video is still going. My video on how I move across the country in less than $1,000, that's another viewed video of mine. My video where I hooked up with my Airbnb host, I believe that has like 13 or 14,000 views right now. That video is a bit older, but it took about like a year and a half for that video to pop off. Like, the algorithm is so weird. Sometimes my videos take a couple months to pop off. It really just depends, so anything can happen. I mean, I hope within the next 5 years I will be doing this full time, and I hope I will have at least maybe 30 to 40,000 subscribers, and you totally can be a full-time YouTuber with that many subscribers, because it's also not going to be my only source of income. I would have other things going on to where I'd be making other supplements of income on top of that. So that is what I see for the direction of my channel, and I'm really excited to see what happens. But it definitely is a much bigger difference from going 3 years of only gaining 600 subscribers and gaining another 600 subscribers within a year and a half, or less than a year and a half. So that goes to show you that I am now growing at a faster rate than what I was back then. So it is really cool to see that it's not going to take me 4 years to get another 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I'm already at 1,600. I only need 400 more until I hit 2,000 subscribers, which is really crazy. So I'm excited about that. So it shows you that I have gone through it all, and I have come so far. This question says, what are different ways we can support your channel? You are so sweet. So there are a few things you can do if you do want to support my channel. Well, one of the first things is to actually watch my videos in full, because that gives me watch time. So when you give me more watch time, the algorithm says, hey, this is a great video, because people are watching the whole thing through. Another thing is to hit that like button and give it a thumbs up, because that is also engagement. Even if you dislike my video, the YouTube algorithm doesn't give a shit if you dislike it. They still see that as engagement. Negative engagement is still engagement, and that still helps the algorithm. So that is another way you can help my channel and support it. Another way that you can support my channel is to comment on my videos and engage with me and have a discussion. Because when you comment on my video, that also tells the YouTube algorithm, hey, people are engaging with this video. That means it's good, so we're gonna push it out to more people. So if you want to support me financially, you can always do the super thanks. I did get access to that about 2 months ago. So that is a way where you can donate money if you want and support my channel, so I can use those funds to put it back into my channel. You can also join me on my monthly live streams and donate money through Super Chat. So if you wanted to give me $5 during the live stream, that is another way that you can support my channel. Another thing you can do, it technically doesn't support my YouTube channel, but it supports me as a person and me being a content creator, is checking out my Amazon storefront or catching me on Amazon Lives on Fridays and clicking the items and making purchases. I do make a small commission from that. So if you do shop my Amazon storefront, you can help me out by doing that. So those are some ways that you can support me and my channel. Thank you so much for asking. That's really sweet of you. What equipment do you use? So right now I am using the Canon M50 for my camera. It is a mirrorless camera, and I am using the Rode microphone. I am also using a tripod. And I do have a newer ring light. I only use my ring light when I'm filming more in like the kitchen area because the lighting in there is terrible. Right now I'm using natural light from my window because the lighting is really nice and diffuse at the moment. I have a 256 gigabyte memory SD card. What else do I use in terms of equipment? I use Final Cut Pro for my software. But those are honestly the main things that I use. Oh, and when I do vlogs like out and about, I also use my phone camera as well. But if you are interested in any of my equipment that I use for YouTube, again, it's all in my Amazon storefront, so check it out. Would you ever do style videos, like get ready with me / clothing haul videos? I do get ready with me videos from time to time, so definitely go back to some of my playlists. But yeah, I do them when they come up. I also have done my Nordstrom anniversary haul video. That was my live stream, so if you want a clothing haul video, go watch that because I posted that like 2 weeks ago and the chat was popping off in that, so that was a fun video to do. Time to time, I will do stuff like that. I actually have a shopping video planned later on this month, so stay tuned. What made you decide to be a YouTuber? That's a great question. So it was 2016. I was watching more YouTube than I ever was before. Like grad school in general is when I was watching so much YouTube, but it wasn't until like 2016 where I really got into like the beauty gurus, like Laura Lee, Manny MUA, all of them, and I really wanted to get into makeup. So it was my inspiration to get into makeup for one thing, right? So just stick with me here. I have a point. When I was a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding, I wanted my makeup to look great. I was watching all these YouTube videos, and then I just became hooked on makeup. And then eventually it inspired me to want to create my own YouTube channel where I could have a beauty channel and focus on cruelty-free beauty. Well, we all know how that went. Clearly, beauty is very oversaturated. Even cruelty-free beauty is oversaturated. So I knew that I had to change my niche. But yeah, it came from watching a lot of YouTube myself and dabbling into makeup. But another thing about living in San Francisco, because that's where I did start my YouTube channel, is that I gained a lot of confidence. And I got a lot of passion and excitement, and I developed a whole new love for San Francisco, and I thought, what if I started just making videos about San Francisco and dating because I'm single? Oh my God, that would be such a great topic. So that is kind of how the niches evolved and changed over time. But it was really fun to do the beauty videos while they lasted, but those videos were just really bad and they got no views. And ever since I switched niches, that is exactly how my channel was able to find the success that it has now. Even with a small following, I still think that my channel is successful, and I treat my channel like I have over 100,000 subscribers. And that is the kind of mindset you want to have when you are a YouTuber. Even though I know I have 1,600 subscribers, I pretend that I have 100,000 because that is the kind of mindset that you need to have to be a successful YouTuber, and it helps you build your confidence. So this next question says, knowing what you know now, would you do anything different with your YouTube channel? I mean, I feel like this would be so much easier to answer if I could go back in time. Like, obviously, I would definitely get better equipment in terms of lighting. I wish I had started off with better lighting. That is something that would have been important, and started off with at least having a microphone, because my audio and lighting was just absolute garbage when I first started. And I mean, everyone starts somewhere, right? My channel was literally the definition of everyone starts somewhere, but I definitely wish I could have started off with at least some decent quality. I definitely wish I knew that, or anything that I could do differently is to have had a more specific niche picked out and to have more structure when it came to YouTube, because I didn't have that kind of structure when I was creating videos. I was just doing random beauty YouTube videos, doing kind of all the trendy beauty videos, and just getting lost in the crowd. So I really wish I had done that differently. I don't know if there's anything that I would do differently now. I think what I'm doing now is working for me. Now, obviously, there's always room for improvement, and I do read my analytics. I definitely wish that I knew how to read my analytics better back then, because I definitely didn't pay attention to it as much. So looking at my analytics has certainly given me a better idea on what like people are searching for. I definitely wish I had incorporated more B-roll back then, because that was something that I never did. 2 years ago, I did make a video on things I wish I knew before I was a YouTuber, so definitely check that video out. That's actually what I did in honor of my 3-year anniversary of being on YouTube. That's what I would kind of do differently, assuming that I was starting now, if that's what you were asking. So I really hope that answered your question. Do you have any dream collaborations? I do. I mean, obviously I would love to collaborate with Amber Scholl. I absolutely love her so much. You know, I would love to do shopping videos with her in Portland. And you know what's funny? She recently just went to San Francisco for the first time and did a shopping video there. And during the pandemic, so 2 years ago, I did a video where I would shop like Amber Scholl in San Francisco. And I remember in that video, I talked about how Amber would lose her mind in Neiman Marcus in Union Square. And guess what? Amber went to the Neiman Marcus in Union Square and pretty much lost her mind, but her video focused more on like thrift stores. So that was a really interesting take. That was not the kind of take that I was expecting her to have when she was gonna go shopping in San Francisco, but it was still a very enjoyable video. I just wish I would have loved to do a shopping video with her. We could have definitely gone thrifting here in Portland. Like, if she thinks thrifting in San Francisco is great, she just needs to come to Portland, because she's gonna die with happiness. So I would love to do a video with her on that. Another person I'd like to collaborate is actually one of the girls that I did the boot camp with, actually a few of them. So I don't know if any of you guys watch Cassie Thorpe or Caitlin Pulowski or Aurelia Martinez on YouTube. They are some of the sweetest ladies I've ever met. So Cassie and Caitlin both do videos on luxury fashion, and Cassie just moved from the UK to New York City, and she is about to hit 100,000 subscribers. I remember when we did the boot camp together, she was at 750 subscribers. I'm just so proud of her. She's about to do it, so I would love to do a video with Cassie and Caitlin and Aurelia. We could all do our own 4-way collab. That would be so fun. Caitlin just needs to come from Australia to the US and we could all work together. I know Aurelia also lives in the Pacific Northwest, so that would be so fun to be able to collaborate with all three of those ladies, since we were kind of like OGs in that boot camp and we got pretty close during that time. So to be able to like create our own takes on like luxury fashion videos, maybe do some truth or drinks or fun things that we could do together, I would absolutely love that a ton. I hope they're all watching this. Wanted to give them the shout out that they deserve. This is the last question, and this person asked, what are some of your favorite comments you receive on your videos? I love this question. My favorite comments that I get on videos are the ones that say, "Thank you so much for making this video. It was so helpful." I cannot tell you how much I love those comments, and knowing that my videos are truly making an impact, a positive impact on people's lives, and that I am sharing some type of information with them that benefits them to a certain degree. I love getting comments, whether it is about the San Francisco public transportation video. I mean, that video is still doing very well and it's still getting tons of comments saying, "Thank you so much for making this video. I'm actually going to be visiting San Francisco next month and this was so helpful. Now I know how to navigate transportation in San Francisco." Like, it's not a very sexy topic, but it's so useful. I remember when we had the pandemic and people were losing their jobs left and right, I made a video on how to file for unemployment in California, and many people really liked that video. Another comment that I really like getting on my videos is, "I have never related so much to this in my life. I'm also single and I'm experiencing the same thing that you are, and this made me feel less alone. Those are probably the two biggest comments that I get on my channel quite often, and they make me so happy because this is exactly why I do what I do. And I hope that I can continue to make more videos to inspire people and to help them live their best bold life unapologetically, of course. So those were all the questions. Y'all asked some really great questions, and I really hope that I answered all of them. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Let me know how long you've been here throughout the past 5 years, whether you just subscribed to my channel or you've been here since year 1. I would love to know. Your support means the world to me, and cheers to a great 5 years. Cheers to going on to year 6 of YouTube and see what it has in store for me. Guys, if you liked this video, once again, do make sure you give it a thumbs up because that is one great way to support my channel. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye!